Because your chair is not here, would one of you be willing to lead today's meeting?
Start the.
Please? I can't do it.
Pete, you've been here the longest. So good with Robert's Rules of Order.
Oh, Pete, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm kind of a newbie at this too.
This is my second meeting, so who's got more tenure?
Nobody else will do it, I will.
Video?
Oh, sorry for my tardiness.
We're just getting started. You're good.
Any chance you want to chair the meeting?
Oh, sure.
Perfect.
Your chair is not here tonight, so I'm covering for Rachel, so I'm another assistant city attorney.
Okay.
Quick question before we get started. One of the people appealing today is a customer of mine, Freddie. So do I need to abstain from voting with him?
So you'll need to determine for yourself if you can still remain objective, given the existing customer relationship that you have. When we get to that agenda item, you'll need to state the relationship on the record and whether or not you can remain objective. If you don't think that you can remain objective, you can abstain from that item and just not participate in the discussion or the vote.
Thank you.
You bet. So it's after 4, so before we get started, it looks like our first
Oh, someone just called in. I'm sorry, Lindsay. The person that's on 920-424-0402, could I please get your name?
That might be me. I don't know the number I'm calling from. Colin Tomaszek is my name.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
then I no longer have any other comments. You can go ahead and start the meeting.
All right, I will do the best I can. All right, we are going to start the Sex Offender Residency Board meeting for April 20th, 2022. Can I get somebody to move to adopt the agenda for today?
Move to adopt the agenda.
Do you need to do a roll call first?
Yes.
That'd be a good idea.
Yes, please.
All right, Dominique McQueen here.
Yeah, let's Caker here.
Craig Coleman here.
Pete Chedlowski here.
All right, looks like we have enough people to proceed. And does somebody want to go ahead and adopt the agenda for today?
Move to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, aye.
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 All right, any nays? All right, we'll move that. And can I get somebody to approve last month's agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second
All
it.
right. Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. All right, it looks like the first person we have on the agenda is Colin Tomaszek. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and it looks like Mr. Tomaszek is asking to move to 2548 Manitowoc Road. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, Mr. Tomaszek, we're going to ask you some questions. We're going to ask you to tell us a bit about your crime. We're going to ask that you don't mention the victim by name or relation. We're going to ask you some questions about treatment. We can do that in open session or we can do that in closed session. Just let us know when we get to that. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the crime that you were convicted of?
Well, I was convicted on 10 counts of possession of child pornography. It was all found on the internet. I had an addiction to internet porn in general, and it just kind of snowballed into, I stumbled across some stuff along those lines and wound up continuing to fall further and further down that rabbit hole, and it just kind of got out of control up until I wound up getting arrested.
Okay. Do we have a representative here from the Green Bay Police Department?
Yes, Captain Gary Riddles is here.
Okay, Captain Riggles, does that sound consistent with the complaint in this case?
It does, I'm going through just to check the counts and, really confirm that. Does it appear, it does that way, when I was trying to stifle just so, but I believe it's the description of the, particular videos, and each one had to go into a description of it to make sure it qualified for statutory purposes, but that does seem accurate, yes.
Okay, thank you. Does any of the board members have any questions for Mr. Tomaszek?
None here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Tomaszek, we're going to move into any treatment. Would you like to continue this in open session, or would you like to go to closed session?
I don't have a preference.
Okay, if you're fine with staying in open session, then why don't you tell us a little bit about any treatment that you have received?
Well, when I was moved into the Department of Corrections and I was evaluated when I was at Dodge, it was found that any form of sex offender treatment wasn't necessary. I was given substance use and a form of cognitive rehabilitation programming as treatment needs, both of which I completed.
Okay, so you completed the treatment, but it was never found that you needed any sex offender treatment?
That is correct.
Any of the board members have any questions about treatment or lack of?
None here.
None here.
Okay. Mr. Tomaszek, do you have anybody here to testify on your behalf?
I spoke with my parents and grandparents, and they both said that they had planned on joining this and speaking on my behalf.
Okay, do we have anybody on the behalf of Mr. Tomaszek?
Yes, we are here, his grandparents. Ronald
Okay.
Hoffman.
Go ahead, say so.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your name, Mr. Hoffman?
Ronald Hoffman, Hoffman, and my wife Nancy. They're Colin's grandparents.
Okay. And I'm sorry, are you Colin's parents over there?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, can I get both of your names, please?
Tina Tomaszek.
Robert Tomaszek.
Okay, why don't we start with you guys? Why don't you go ahead and let us know what you want us to know about Colin?
Yes, Colin knows what he did was wrong. He is serving a sentence in a minimum security prison. He has been in minimum security prison throughout his stay. While he was there, he never was in any trouble. Colin also a level 1 offender. It was a non-violent act. If you give him just one chance to prove he can be better, Colin will not disappoint you. Please let Colin live with his grandparents for now. He needs his family to help him get back to try to find a job and be a law-abiding taxpayer who may one day have a family of his own. This has changed Colin forever. He never wants to go back, so please find it in your heart to give Colin a chance to live with family. Thank you.
Okay, and let's move to Colin's grandparents.
Colin, we're hoping that he will be able to live with us. road. He is definitely a different person than when he entered the correctional institute. Back then, he had no friends. He was, I don't know if you can see this, I'd like you to see a picture. This is his graduation picture. He has since lost over 100 pounds while he was been in there. He was a loner in high school, but now that he's here, and once he comes to our house, we're hoping that with the rules we have set up, that he will be able to become again, a tax-paying citizen and holding down a job. We'd like him to also be learning more of the things that he can live on his own.
Yeah, I just, Colin is a good kid, he made a mistake. I cannot understand what happened, and I would sure appreciate giving him a second chance to be able to make something of himself. We will certainly do our best to work with him and get him on the right track, get him working, and do what's necessary.
All right, Mr. Hoffman, you stated that there are going to be rules at your house. Could you expound upon those, please?
I have a list of things I would like him to be doing. Some simple, some that will hopefully carry through his life. Things like making his bed every day, keeping the hallway outside of his bedroom and his bedroom clean at all times. That weekly he cleaned the bathroom. He had his own bathroom down here. Do the laundry weekly. Help his grandmother with preparing meals so he learns how to cook on his own, as well as shop with her. Learn value of shopping and where some good deals are, not only for clothes but for food as well. I have some books I'd like him to read so that he becomes a better person. We have a 3-car stall. You must keep the car in the garage at all times. And for the rent, rooms, meals, and use of the laundry, once he starts working, starting with his full paycheck, we would be asking $75 a week so that he knows he's not just on vacation here. And that he follows these rules and any other ones that come up, as well as any rules that are assigned him by his probation officer or whomever else. We just want to be sure that by the time he finds a place to live on his own, he's ready to do so. And we believe we can help him do that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hoffman. I do just have 2 more questions. Do you guys have a computer in your home?
Yes, we do. And it is now password locked, protected, yes.
Okay, and would somebody be there with Colin at all times?
Not necessarily, but
Most of the time, we're retired,
yeah.
so one of us would be here with him, yes.
Yeah. Plus, where this computer is, besides being password protected, I'm also putting a door piece across my office where it's in, and that too will be locked at all times. So it'll be double secure.
Thank you. Do any of the other board members have any questions for Colin's parents or grandparents?
I'm here.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Colin?
Yeah, I have one question. Colin, do you have any ideas of where you're going to be looking for work?
I know my grandfather told me recently he toured Green Bay Packaging, and he was talking to them about how they are about employing felons and sex offenders specifically, and he said that they seem to be pretty open-minded about that, so I know that that's at least one place that I'll be putting my name in as soon as I can.
Okay, I do have 2 suggestions. Sound Partners in Denmark, also Belgioso.
Okay.
reopened in Denmark, and good thing.
What was that first one?
Okay.
First one is Salm Partners.
Solemn Partners?
Salm, yes, SALM,
SALM.
and then Belgium.
And the other one was good food?
Pardon?
Belgioso.
No.
I know where that is. That's that big cheese factory.
Oh, yeah.
And I do believe they're all online as far as applying.
Okay.
I have a question about applying online. Can he do it from here on my computer if I'm with him?
Any other board members want to comment or ask questions about that?
Well, I think that that would be a question for his probation officer.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, does somebody want to make a motion?
I move to
Make a
approve.
motion. Oh,
I move to approve address specific. Colin, I hope that you understand what an amazing support system you have between your grandparents and your parents, and I hope you appreciate it.
I absolutely do, sir.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. Colin, you have been approved to move to 2548 Manitowoc Road. And understand that if you do move from there, that you will need to apply again, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. You guys can go ahead and log off.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for your time.
All right, it looks like next on our agenda is Freddie B. Jones. All right, Mr. Jones, we're going to have you answer some questions about your crime that you were convicted of. Then we're going to ask about treatment. And as you heard me state before, we can either do this in an open forum or we can do it in closed session. So why don't you begin by telling us a little bit about what you were convicted of?
And Freddie, I just have to disclose that Freddie is a customer of mine at Forward Service Corporation, and I do feel that I can be objective in deciding with him.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Freddie, you want to go ahead?
Hello, my name is Freddie B. Jones Jr. 28 years ago, I was charged with criminal aggravated sexual assault to a minor. I was sentenced to a Dixon Correctional Facility. It's located in Dixon, Illinois. It's a facility for sex offenders. It's geared towards sex offenders. The facility just basically if you're there, then you're going through the program. That's the only reason why they put you there for the program. I completed all of my program. My case is like 28, 27 years old. I'm in Green Bay. I was residing in the address that I'm trying to currently go back to. But when I came out here, I found out that I wasn't allowed to be there. So then I left. And that's just about it. I've been going through like programs, not sexual programs, because I never had an interest in anything like that. It's just a one-time thing that happened that shouldn't have happened. And it was just 28 years ago. I'm in the process of now getting married next year. I was working at a company, but due to like me not having all the material that I needed, plus I had court today, they had to let me go. I started Monday. And I needed steel toe boots, but I didn't have them. So they sent me home yesterday, and then I had court today. So they terminated my employment. However, I do have an interview tomorrow at another company, and I'm looking forward to working there.
All right, do any of the board members have any questions?
Yeah, I've got one question. Do you have transportation?
No, I don't have transportation, sir. I'm in the process of trying to get my license by me being out here, and can I go back to the state that I was in? I'm trying to find a way to pay my fines online. That way I can get my driver's license. I'll talk to, what's his name? Oh, Craig, yesterday, or the other day, hi Craig, and he gave me some information, and he helped me get, send the boots and the coat and the gloves that I needed, so I thank him for that. And I also asked him he gave me the information to this lady, I think her name is Mary, about, the car service. So I can't have transportation back and forth to work, but since I've been out here, I've just been basically walking to wherever I have to go to. I walk to work, I walk home from work, I walk to work, I walk back.
Freddie, I have a couple of questions. I'm looking through the board packet, and I'm seeing if I'm reading it correctly, a violation of the sex offender registration statute in 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016. Can you speak to those?
Okay, I don't know how the law is out here, or how, what I'm saying, but out there in Illinois, I was given, I had to do it for 6 years, to register for 6 years. So I was continuously going back and forth. My father takes me there and he takes me there, he wait on me and he come back. And then they give you a paper that you take with you. I had all of those papers before I came back out here, but my dad was looking for them, he couldn't find it. My last day of registration, I went in and I got the paper. Well, the day before that I went in when I was supposed to, but then the computers went down. So I did go back the next day to get my papers. And I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't had run-ins with police officers, like arguments and stuff like that. No physical drugs or anything like that. It's just argument with people in the neighborhood and the police got called. My name did get put up when they type it in. They never said anything to me about none of that. I didn't hear anything about none of this until I came to Wisconsin. That's when I found out that Illinois had me on what is it? I guess out here it's like you gotta register for life or something, but out there it was only for 6 years, and I had completed all of that. I had a legitimate job. I was going to work every day. I was still coming home. And that was just about it. I didn't know anything until I came to Wisconsin. That's when I found out that they had me for failure to register. So like I was telling you earlier, I was getting married next year in June. So in order for everything to go properly, I had to leave the residence and get everything monitorized, bring everything up to date. I'm sorry, I had to try to bring everything up to date, but I still don't know, why they saying I have to register for life when I completed everything in Illinois. I haven't been out here that long, and so, like I said, I've been, back and forth arguing and getting, confrontations. I had, talk to the police, but that was just about it. They didn't ever tell me anything until I came here. But I don't have no problems. I haven't had any other case since then. No penitentiary or anything.
If you don't mind, I can say that I called Illinois to find out about the status of his failure to register, and apparently in Wisconsin, you can register online, or there's papers you fill out to mail in. Apparently, because we were trying to get him up to date in Illinois, and apparently the only way to become up to date is you actually have to appear in person. And I tried speaking with someone to find out, explaining he's not in Illinois, he's here. And they didn't care. They said, well, you have to appear here. So that's, apparently there's no way to become up to date unless you actually appear in person there.
Okay. And then in 2006, it looks like there's a domestic battery that you were sentenced to 300 days in jail for. Can you speak to what that was about?
I apologize, I can't remember back that far. Like I said, I had many altercations. I don't know if it was a neighborhood person I got into it with, or 2006. I completed anger management. I mean, they give you anger management, then, you know, the sex abuse classes, then you got that World of Works program that you gotta go through. I don't even remember.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else got any questions?
I've got one comment. I was gonna mention, since you don't have transportation, there is an organization through St. Vincent de Paul that, you can possibly get a bicycle for free. It beats walking.
Yes, I know about St. Vincent's de Paul. However, I have no place to put a bike. You can't bring your bikes in the rooms. And then the majority of people that put their bikes out there, their bikes not there in the morning. That's why I'm just comfortable with walking. I can rely on my feet better than I can on a bike. But I've been learning my way around on the bus system out here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So several of the buses I'm familiar with. Most of them is on the route to. And that's what I've been doing. I mean, outside of my fiance, I don't know nobody else out here. So she works, so I only have to depend on myself. And when it comes to a job, you cannot be late. You cannot miss no day. I just want to be positive, constructive out here with her. I don't want to have no problem whatsoever. That's why I'm going things the right way.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you know if the place you're looking to move to allows bicycles?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
May I speak?
Tracy? I'm sorry.
May I speak on his behalf?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, did you plan on speaking on his behalf?
I did. So I did want to say that I did look into his treatment to see if the treatment records were available. And, you know, given the fact that his offense occurred so long ago, even if it was in Wisconsin, those treatment records would have been destroyed by now. So his offense did occur, you know, like he said, nearly 28 years ago. And to Freddie's credit, he has done everything we've asked of him to do to this point. He's being honest when he says he has walked everywhere. He has looked for employment. He's walked everywhere. He's moved from the residence as soon as we found out he was in violation of the Green Bay registry. He moved immediately. We got him into the transitional living. And he's walked from there to his office appointments with me. He's looked very hard for a job. And he did not have he didn't even have identification when I first got his case. We went to the DMV and he now has a photo ID. He is working on trying to get his tickets resolved in Illinois, not being in Illinois, trying to get those tickets resolved so we can work on getting a driver's license. He's very motivated. The landlord has approved for him to live at this residence. He did not want to tell his fiance about his offense because he was very ashamed about it, very ashamed. What he did not tell you is speaking about this offense, he had spoken to the victim many years ago. She had a stroke apparently, and he had apologized to her, and they had conversations and about that, and they apparently according to her comment was it's water under the bridge. Mm-hmm. So he did apologize to the victim. I just think he's really, in order to move forward and become a stable member of the community, I think he needs a stable residence. And if that's going to happen, I think we need to, it would behoove with his fiance.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Tracy?
None here.
Okay, would any board members like to have any open discussion?
I'll just say I'm not super confident that you wouldn't reoffend. I certainly hope you don't, but I don't feel as confident as I'd like to be to grant this, so I'll be voting against it.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion?
Move to approve address specific.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay?
Nay.
All right, the ayes have been approved to move to 2072 August Street, and understand that if you do plan to move again, that you do have to apply again before you can actually move into that address. Okay? All right, and you're welcome. Would you like us to send the paperwork to your current address or the 2072 August Street address?
The new address.
Okay. All right.
Freddie, I hope you find stability out there and you do well. Good luck.
I mean, I thank you.
All right. All right, Freddie, you can go ahead and hang up. All right, it looks like next on our agenda is Ling Yang. It looks like Mr. Yang, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it looks like you are petitioning to move to 1160 Cherry Street, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so we're gonna ask you some questions about your offense. Please do not refer to the victims by name or relation. And then when we get to the treatment part, let us know if you'd like to do that in open session or closed session. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a bit about the offense?
I was charged with 10 counts of possession of child pornography. I came to that because just like the other caller, I was addicted to pornography and stuff, and I've been downloading and watching a lot of porn and stuff, and one day I came across the child pornography, and I made the bad decision to download it, and I got caught by the police the very next year. Then when I got to Dodge, they also determined that I don't need the program, so throughout my whole incarceration, I just worked. And then when I came out, my PO suggested I take the program, and I agree with him, and so I would have had my first class today, but because we had a meeting today, he just let the instructor know, like, I'll be missing my first meeting.
Okay, so you're fine discussing this in open session then?
Yep.
Okay. And can you specify a little bit about what type of treatment it is?
It's the SOT2. That's all I know for now. That's what they told me.
Okay, and you said when you went through the prison system, they determined that you didn't need to have treatment?
Yeah, because they said my the scoring thingy from my pre-judge hearing thingy, they said all my score was low, so I didn't need it.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
None.
Do you have any employment lined up?
Oh, I'm already actually working.
Looks like it says you're employed as a recycler. How long have you been employed doing that?
Since middle of February.
Is that 40 hours a week?
Yeah, no, it's not full time, but right now I'm doing like 39, because
my other two brother works and I don't have a vehicle. So when my one brother is off on the 3 days, he just drops me off and picks me up.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah. I have a driver's license, but I don't have a vehicle.
Does the board have any other questions?
None.
All right, Mr. Yang stated that your first, treatment was supposed to be today?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know how long that is going to go on?
No, he said, according to my PO, it depends on how long, Pablo determines, from, our meeting, is what, according to, my PO. So he's not even sure how long it'll be.
And how much longer are you on extended supervision?
3 years. I just got out this January, so I forgot till, January 2025.
Any other questions from the board? All right, does anybody want to have open discussion or make a motion?
Make a motion to approve or grant the appeal of Ling Yang to move to 1160 Cherry Street.
The motion.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. Mr. Yang, you have been approved to move to 1160 Cherry Street. Again, if you do move, you will have to apply again. Would you like us to send your paperwork to that 1160 Cherry Street address?
No, I'm not gonna move there until, May 1st, because the current tenant's still there.
Okay. All right, we'll send you your paperwork to your current address then.
I'm not at the TLP, I'm at the motel, so if you could send it to my PO, and have them give it to me.
That's fine, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Mr. Yang. You can go ahead and hang up.
All right, thank you very much.
Right, and it looks like the last person on our agenda is Zachary Clark. He is petitioning to move to 1274, is it Emily Street?
Yeah, that's correct. I currently reside here. I'm actually petitioning to stay. When I was still incarcerated, they told me that they wanted to have me come in front of you again after 100 days and let you know where I was at with any employment.
Okay, yes, I do see that. So you came by to see if we can approve it permanently for you to live there. All right, I don't believe, Alex, you weren't here in November when he first had his hearing, is that correct?
Yes, I believe you're correct.
Okay. Zachary, if you could just tell us a little bit about your offense and as far as treatment goes, are you okay continuing in open session?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you give us a little bit of information about your offense?
Yeah, similar to the other two gentlemen, I had a 1-count possession of child pornography. Just same as them, made a mistake, downloaded something I shouldn't have, got caught with it and got arrested and ended up doing 3 years in Oshkosh Correctional. They did determine that I needed treatment, but I was so low level they didn't offer it at the prison. So I've actually just started treatment within the last few weeks through family services. I've had 2 appointments so far.
All right, does anybody have any questions?
Are you employed, Zachary?
Yes, I am. I work for a company called Little Rapids Corporation, driving forklift. I started on February 1st.
And you have, reliable transportation to get there?
Yeah, so I have my own vehicle.
Does the board have any other questions?
None
All
here.
right. Would the board like to have discussion, or would somebody like to make a motion?
Move to approve address specific.
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 All opposed, nay? All right, the ayes have it. Zachary, you have been approved to live at 1274 Emily Street. Just remember, if you do move, you will need to petition us again. So I'm assuming we can send that paperwork then to the 1274 address?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, you can go ahead and hang up.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Sergeant Riggles, thank you for being with us.
Anytime.
All right. Any more official business we need to take up?
Just want to thank you for chairing.
Yes, thank you for stepping up.
Hopefully I
Thank
didn't
you.
mess it up too bad.
Good.
You're
Did
good.
very well. I do just need you to read off the 2 informational items, and then we'll do a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry, read off the what?
The informational items, are there not? Yeah. About the next meeting date and the June meeting date?
Oh. All right, the next meeting date for next month is Wednesday, the 18th, and for June is Wednesday, the 15th?
22nd,
The 22nd.
22nd. All right,
4 p.m.
Board, we had to move the meeting to a different week because all of the attorneys will be at a conference, so we had to move it to the 22nd for June.
okay.
I will not be here on the 22nd.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more official business?
Just a question of any more talk about in-person meetings.
The council went back to in-person, and I believe we're working toward sort of hybrid meetings for committees, but we do need to work through getting that all set up with IT, so that's not been put into place quite yet, but we will be keeping you posted.
Okay, thank you.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion to end the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Looks like Craig already made the motion. Would you like the second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, the ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned. I will see you guys next month then.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.